All right, y'all, it's week 2, and I've got some really good picks for you guys to help you cash in Draft Kings in week 2. Let's get it. Let's start off with the quarterbacks. At the top tier, we have Russell Wilson at $7,200. Wilson will be taking on the Houston Texans, who gave up over 350 passing yards last week to Matt Ryan. Russell Wilson will be coming out of this game swinging after a tough loss to his former team on Monday night, and I see him going bananas on a mediocre at best pass defense. Play Wilson with confidence in week 2. Now for the mid-tier, and let's go over my favorite quarterback for this week in Carson Wentz at $5,800. Wentz is a quarterback you can slide into your lineups and have plenty of wiggle room at other positions. Wentz is going against a Detroit Lions team who gave up 240 passing yards to a quarterback who's really known for his running ability and not the passing ability. If Wentz is able to sit in the pocket, we could be looking at an easy 300-yard passing game. Also, at Wentz's disposal is a plethora of talent. Look for some fireworks from Wentz in week 2. At the low tier, we have Cooper Rush at $5,000. Now, by no means am I telling you to play Cooper Rush, but I am saying that if you want a bare minimum quarterback to fit in with other studs, I wouldn't go lower than Rush. He should be able to give you a decent floor game if needed. I, for one, would rather spend an extra $800 and get up to Wentz, but I'm here to give you as many options as possible and to be able to cash, and if you just don't have the extra $800 for Wentz, Cooper Rush should be your quarterback. Next, let's go ahead and move over to the running back position, and the top tier for running backs this week will be Christian McCaffrey at $8,900. I know some of you will be saying, wait, but McCaffrey only had 10 carries in week 1. How is he worth that $8,900 price tag? Well, I'm just here to tell you that he is. He was eased back into action after missing much of last season with an injury, and I believe in week 2 we will start to see these touches ramp up. He will be facing a Giants defense who only surrendered 82 yards on the ground in week 1, but where McCaffrey will be effective is through the air. I can see McCaffrey scoring among the top in points among all running backs in week 2. Now on to our middle tier, and let's talk about Daryl Henderson Jr. Daryl Henderson has completely taken the number 1 running back role, and he's coming in at a huge discount at $5,700. He takes on a Falcons defense who gave up 151 yards on the ground and should be able to produce some nice numbers against this defense. I see the Rams being in a positive game script all game long, which definitely bodes well for Henderson to give you that safe floor for this week. For our low tier, let's talk about Jeff Wilson Jr. at $5,100. This is a serviceable running back that you can look at for some nice production in week 2. Wilson will be going against a defense who gave up over 100 yards on the ground to the Broncos on Monday night. I see the 49ers trying to establish the run against the Seahawks defense, and Jeff Wilson Jr. should be ahead of this running back group. I am by no means excited to roster Wilson, but if you're in need for some savings, Jeff Wilson Jr. could be your guy. Now we're moving on to the top tier wide receivers, and let's talk about Cooper Kupp. At $9,900, what else can you say about this guy? He has the production flowing through his veins. He's taken on a Falcons defense who allowed 4 players to get over 40 yards receiving, include chunk plays of 21, 26, and 40 yards. I see Kupp blowing up the secondary and having yet another Pro Bowl performance in week 2. Kupp is a set it and forget it type of player each and every week. Now on to the middle tier, and we're going to go with Michael Thomas at $5,800. I see this as the last time you may see Thomas in this 5K range. He really came in on the 4th quarter in week 1 with 2 touchdowns. He plays a Tampa Bay defense who gave up 200 yards receiving to a team who has Noah Brown as their leading receiver. Now comes in that talented Saints receiving core, and they should be able to eat against this defense. Look to grab Thomas as a value for the last time this season. Finally, let's go ahead and go over the low tier with Greg Dortch at $3,500. You could probably tell that I like Dortch if you watch my waiver wire target video that I released earlier this week, but this guy had 7 receptions on 9 targets. Let me repeat, 9 targets. Just to put this in perspective, Marquise Brown, who was supposed to be the number 1 wide receiver, only received 6 targets. The Cardinals like this guy Dortch, and he should be a producer as long as Hopkins is out. Get him on your lineup at 3,500. Now on to our final top tier player at the tight end position. We're going to talk about, yet again, Mark Andrews at 6,400. Andrews gets a bit of a discount here this week from last week, but he gets to take on the Miami Dolphins, who allowed 53 yards to a group of tight ends with an offense who couldn't move the ball to save their life. On comes Lamar Jackson and his main man, Mark Andrews, who received the most targets on the team in week 1 with 7. I see Andrews having a solid day against the Dolphins in week 2. Now our final mid-tier player at tight end is Pat Freiermuth at 4,400. Freiermuth was surely one of the focal points on offense, receiving 10 targets in week 1. I can see the same number of targets and production from Freiermuth in week 2 against the Patriots, who gave a boatload up of receiving yards to the Dolphins in week 1. I feel confident in my starting favorite tight end this week in Freiermuth. Now on to our final low tier player, which is tight end OJ Howard at 3,000. Howard had 2 targets, 2 receptions, and 2 touchdowns in week 1. This is the perfect example of throwing a dart and hoping it sticks. Howard is a min-price tight end that you can plug in and hope that he can give you the same type of magic that he was able to provide you in week 1. Now on to the Bengal Tiger Lock of the Week. Our Bengal Tiger Lock of the Week is Nick Chubb at 7,100. Chubb was a bell cow for the Browns in week 1 with 22 carries for 141 yards against the Panthers, and coming to town in week 2 is the Jets. I'm locking and loading Chubb in 100% of my lineups this week, and I would advise you to do the same. Chubb is looking to have a special season this year, and you need to jump on Chubb at this crazy discount of 7,100. Lock in Chubb with confidence on DraftKings. As always, thank you for watching the video. If you hadn't hit that subscribe button, hit that subscribe button. I can't wait to see in the comment section for all you guys who actually was able to cash in week 2 for DraftKings. Can't wait to see you guys on the next video. We'll see you guys next time.